on yesterday. This collaboration is representative of the partnership with the Atlanta Police Department and the DA's office on our aggressiveness in going after gang members. The mayor as well as the DA gave a interview on last week expressing their concerns about what we were seeing in our city and how we would go after any offender. And at the direction of the DA taking the lead on us yesterday, making sure that we were able to get one of our top offenders off of the street. In partnership with them, utilizing our tactical teams, we were able to go out to the individual's location and arrest him without any significant consequences to him or any other parties at the house. And so with that, I'll turn it over to the DA.
Thank you, Chief Bryant. Today I'm joined by the Atlanta Police Chief, Chief Rodney Bryant, as well as my sheriff and our sheriff, Sheriff Patrick Labatt. We are here today about a grand jury indictment that was returned that included not just Jeffrey Williams, which is of some notoriety and media attention, but about 28 defendants that operated within our community between the time period of 2012 and 2022. It is our allegation that they operated as a criminal street gang and commenced to do havoc in our community. That havoc includes crimes of violence, crimes of thefts, crimes involving drugs. I've made no secret about it, nor any apology, that as the District Attorney of Fulton County, my #1 focus is targeting gangs. And there's a reason for that. They are committing conservatively 75 to 80% of all of the violent crime that we are seeing within our community. And so they have to be rooted out of our community. I said just a week or two ago, it does not matter what your notoriety is, what your fame is. If you come to Fulton County, Georgia, and you commit crimes, and certainly if those crimes are in furtherance of a street gang, that you are going to become a target and a focus of this district attorney's office, and we are going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. I agree with Chief Bryant. What you see yesterday and what you will see in the upcoming months and years is the result of a lot of hard work by both the Atlanta Police Department and this office. We are proud to bring forth this indictment and hopefully to bring justice to a lot of the community who was victimized through the course you see in this indictment. But more importantly, the most important thing that we are here to do is to keep this community safe, and we believe removing these 28 defendants will keep Fulton County safer. Yes, sir.
The indictment's got Young Thug and a bunch of other rappers. There was one name I was actually expecting to see there that I didn't, and that's Jack Harlow. Can you speak to that?
What I'll tell you is that as large as this indictment is, I told my team that let's not be sexy, let's not overreach, let's be conservative in our approach, which is always the approach that I take. And in taking that approach, 28 defendants were indicted, and they were indicted for the crimes that I believe were appropriate for this RICO indictment. And so I won't speak to any person that is not named.
These are serious, significant charges. I would imagine you're going to see some pretty serious sentencing here. I know it's early, but can you talk a little bit about the type of sentences they might be facing?
Well, we'll ask on the different charges for the maximum penalties, and there's obviously many people that are looking at life under this indictment. You're absolutely right. These are serious times. They're serious allegations, and it is my opinion that violence in our community deserves maximum penalties.
In a recent interview, you said in the coming weeks and months to expect indictments, RICO charges, gang charges. We see that with fear, but this is only focused on the YSL gang. At that time, you used plural indictments. Should we expect more indictments against singular gangs in the coming weeks and months? Is that what you were meaning with that quote?
Yeah, and if you're already aware, we dropped an indictment not that long ago against YFN. It is certainly a tool that I believe in, which is using RICO. I believe the reason that I believe in it as a tool is it allows juries and the communities to see the complete picture of a crime so they can truly be educated and have facts to weigh when they're making decisions. And so if you're asking, should you expect to see other RICO indictments against other street gang organizations? Absolutely.
Two questions specific to YSL. With the 20-some people arrested here or named, how big is this gang? Is that a good portion of the gang here operating in Atlanta, and how long were you investigating them?
If you look at the indictment, the crimes that are alleged within it go all the way back from 2012 to 2022. I wouldn't say that it contains every act of crime that YSL committed. It is a significant gang that operates here in Atlanta, Georgia, and not every member became a defendant within this indictment, but certainly a significant amount did, and certainly some of the leadership, which is what's most important. We're not going to just target the children that are running out at the direction of leaders and not target leaders.
Madam DA, how much?
Go ahead, Michael.
Sure. How much did social media, music play a role in bringing this indictment?
Social media is a wonderful tool for prosecutors in every indictment we bring nowadays.
And let's talk about, obviously, YSL. They're the territories at Cleveland Avenue. It's no secret. We've seen a ton of violence. Innocent bystanders get hit. So you guys believe that by getting them off the streets, that people in that neighborhood who are living in fear can actually have some peace now?
I believe that people in that neighborhood and at every corner of Fulton County deserve to be safe, even if it is financially lower, socially, economically. You know, I don't think that part of the community should be left behind. Me and the mayor and the police chief have talked about the fact that Cleveland in our community is referred to as Bleveland, that it is somewhere where just violence occurs, where they're marking up territory, it's blood territory. It's horrible. And you're absolutely right. That community deserves to be safe, and we are hoping that this helps to keep them safe.
You know, as we talk about safety, we know these gang members are going to be housed or brought in at the same time. How are you and Sheriff Labatt working to keep them away from each other in the jail, especially with Wyeth and Lucci being targeted as that came out recently?
Well, I won't step outside of my lane. I am the district attorney of Fulton County. I am not the sheriff. I have great confidence in the sheriff. He knew that this was coming as a law enforcement partner, and I believe that he is well prepared, but you'd have to speak to him to make sure that everyone within his facility is safe.
This indictment names a few, it's not just social media posts, but songs that have been released by Young Thug and others, where it goes through the lyrics, evidence supporting the RICO conspiracy. And I'd like you to speak to the First Amendment issues that obviously raises.
This issue's been ruled on by the courts. I knew that question was coming. I believe in the First Amendment. It's one of our most precious rights. However, the First Amendment does not protect people from prosecutors using it as evidence if it is such. In this case, we put it as overt and predicate acts within the RICO count because we believe that's exactly what it is.
Let's allow Sheriff Labatt to answer.
I have one more from Ms. Willis. What's the last time you prosecuted a RICO case? Was that a APS case?
This office? No, since I've been here as the district attorney, I think we've indicted probably 4 or 5 RICOs at this point. So it's a tool I use.
First of all, good afternoon. I believe both Madam DA and Chief Bryant are really raising the level of consciousness in what we're doing within Fulton County, and certainly they deserve our appreciation. With respect to the specific question as to safety and so many people being brought in, we are housing them accordingly to include other facilities. So I encourage everyone to really download the Sheriff's app if you want to know specifically where individuals are, and you'll be accommodated accordingly.
Sheriff Labatt, like as I dug into the indictment, there was an element of it where they were talking about Octavius Greer communicating with an inmate, where the inmate had a cell phone that was contraband. But it was clear from the indictment that you had been, or that all of you had been monitoring that conversation. But it leads me to ask a question you're probably not going to answer. Was that cell phone deliberately given to an inmate so that those conversations could be monitored?
So I did have an opportunity to read your editorial that you posted in the Buckhead blog or whatever it was from that perspective. And so you're right. I'm not going to answer that. So, appreciate it. We'll leave that to Madam DA.
Can you tell us of the 28 who were indicted, how many have been arrested, how many are large, how many are already in custody?
And I do not have that exact number. I can tell you approximately 10 were already in custody. I believe as of last night, we had arrested at least 3 as of last night. I expect to see more arrests today and in the upcoming weeks, but I'm realistic. It's probably going to take the next 2 weeks to get everyone in custody.
There's been some discrepancies about where Gunn is. Maybe this is better for the sheriff. Where he's being, is he in custody?
Short answer, Michael. He's not in custody.
Okay. I mean, has there been arrangements for him to surrender, or is he considered a fugitive right now?
Well, we're making arrangements as much as he had representatives call me last night directly. So we'll muddle through that piece and let you know. And again, download the Sheriff's app. Make sure.
Sheriff, one more question.
Yes, sir.
Have you had to take any special precautionary measures at the jail in light of high profile? I mean, you mentioned people being housed differently, but just safety for your corrections officers. I mean, what kind of, are you able to reveal some of the things you've had to do in light of?
And that's a great question, and I appreciate you taking the time to come visit us a couple of weeks ago. To that extent, based on some of the things that we found, we've already begun new procedures. And so the opportunity for us to maintain safety is paramount. Thank you.
Follow up on Michael's question with the indictment and names being out there now. Are any of the individuals considered fugitives? Is there a worry that some of them are on the run now? Do they know that they're indicted?
In this business, I'm certain that there will be some people that won't volunteer to come into custody. There is no concern that somebody will escape being arrested.
One last question, I'm sorry. How significant was the arrest of Christian Eppinger with regard to the timeline of this indictment? Like, I have been looking at it where that arrest set off this 90-day clock. But I'm reasonably certain you were looking at YSL before all of this. Did that create a sort of a time situation where you wanted to get this done?
No, there was long ago a time-sensitive importance or significance to this particular case. I was a prosecutor, as you know, for 16 years, 4 months, and 4 days in this office. The murder of Donovan Thomas in 2015 created violence like Atlanta has never seen. It was a goal of my predecessor and any person or prosecutor in this office to make sure that that family received justice, because everyone is entitled to justice. It was a commitment I made from the first day I walked into this office. Very shortly after me becoming the DA, I sat down with Mr. Thomas's mother, and I made her a promise that her son was as valuable as any other person within our community, and that I would put resources on this case, and that I would do everything I could to make sure that her son had justice. And yesterday was a proud day for me.
Was there any connection between the killing of young Doug's children's mother and this gang?
I don't believe any.
Okay.
Thank you.